Hi there, I'm Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel, where we work with energy to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. Today I am going to cover the new moon solar eclipse that is happening in the sign of Cancer. It is happening at 0 degrees of Cancer. I said solar, and now I'm checking to see if it's solar or lunar. Oh yay, it's solar. Okay, so we've had two lunar eclipses. We had one in Capricorn. We'll have one in Capricorn on July 5th, and we had one on June 5th that was in Sagittarius. So this is a solar eclipse. This means the moon moves across the sun, but it's an annular eclipse, which means it doesn't completely block out the sun. If you are in Africa, the Indian Ocean, Asia, you are likely to catch it. And what it is it's sort of like, it kind of goes to like this sunset-y kind of energy because it doesn't completely block it, but the light becomes dim. And if you have clouds and stuff, you get some really beautiful pictures from it, but it won't go completely dark, but still super exciting, super powerful. So this wraps up the last 18 months or so, a little more than that, of the North Node being in Cancer. It's kind of a big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little brief overview because I did some meditation on this and some thought into what this means, and so I want to cover that real quick, and then I'm going to timestamp for each of the signs. I'm going to pull some cards. I've got some really powerful cards here, and I have to tell you, the energy in this room is rocking. Everybody is here. I mean, I have got everybody here, from Metatron, the Holy Spirit, to the angels, the archangels. Michael is here. They're making me itch like crazy already. So when I start scratching, it's just because I think they think it's funny. I have all kinds of guides. The Hilaron's here. So we should be able to tap a little into the Akash and see what kind of information that can be brought forward for us today. So hang in there. There's a lot going on. So I really encourage you, when you're checking out the timestamps, to check out your sun, your moon, and your rising, because it will make different aspects in your life, and you will feel the impact of this. It's so powerful. I think for at least the rest of the year. At least the rest of the year, you're really going to notice this energy and how it's going to transform in different areas of your life. It's going to have a big impact. And so it's kind of exciting, and it's also kind of about pulling yourself in. For the last 18 months with the North Node in Cancer and the South Node in Capricorn, it's been about learning to love and nurture ourselves, how to patch up the bucket of love that we all have, and being able to learn how to fill it up. And so this is our opportunity to really kind of pull in and fill it up, and then let it spill all the way out into the world, and to help to enact changes that are nurturing of others. But it starts by nurturing yourself, and that's what we've been trying to learn to do. And then the nodes will be moving into Gemini and Sagittarius, and that is about, what are you curious about, and what have you been hanging on to as a belief that maybe no longer serves you. But I just heard John Lennon's song, "All We Need Is Love," right? That's where we're starting here. It's the love. The love is going to make the difference in your life and the lives of those around you. And so I am not putting out videos this week yet, or later this week. I hope to have the ones out for the sun sign of Cancer. I know I promised they were coming out today, but the energy this week, I'm sure I'm not the only person that felt it, with Neptune in conjunction with Mars in Pisces. It was a really hard slog. And then when the moon got into Pisces, it was really virtually impossible for me to move because my moon is in Pisces. And so I spent yesterday working with the energy, which meant sleeping. I slept a lot, had some really interesting dreams, learned a lot of things. So I learn in my dreams. All right, so here we go. We have, let's see, I wrote down here some stuff to think about. So this sun is, this eclipse is pretty much unaspected with the usual aspects, but it does have a quincunx energy, which is an interesting angle. It's one that it's like the in-between stage. It kind of pushes and pulls in a kind of a different angle. It's sort of like, opposition is poles apart, right? And when things are in conjunction, they're working together. And when things are in like these nice trine energies, that's very stable energy and very supportive energy. But a quincunx is like a yoga pose. things where you're like pulling yourself in some odd directions, like trying to stretch, trying to grow, trying to learn something. It's a little uncomfortable, but you come out in the end stronger and better and with a lesson learned from it. And so it makes it really powerful. And so we've got this going on at 0 degrees. We have Saturn in Aquarius. And when we finish out this year, it'll be back at 0 degrees. And so Saturn moves back at 0 degrees of Aquarius because it's in retrograde. It will move back there right around the next solstice, which is the winter solstice if in your northern hemisphere, and it conjuncts with Jupiter. And on the 21st at the solstice, they move at 0 degrees into the age of Aquarius, in my opinion, and some other people's. And right around that time, you know, we have an eclipse also. So lots of things, we're all connected, right? There's vibrational energies that are all connected. And so what happens now plays a part in what's going to happen then. It's kind of a taste, it's kind of preview. It's planting the seed of intention for where you want to be by the time we get out of 2020, which I know right now everybody's like, when can we get out of 2020? But it's an opportunity to really lay some new groundwork and really figure out where it is you want to be. And so while I was meditating on this, I saw this card. It's the in-between card. It's out of the Colette Baron Reid's deck, Wisdom of the Oracle. And this card is, look, the flamingo is moving out of the gray into the light, and that's sort of where we're at, right? With that quincunx energy, you're in the in-between stage. You're not really here, you're not really there. But this eclipse invites you to think about where you authentically are, who you authentically are, and where do you want to go? Where allows you to move out of the gray into the light? You know, like the Wizard of Oz, when she gets into Oz and everything's in Technicolor. What can you do to move yourself forward? So this quincunx energy kind of reminded me of these two cards, and gosh, I'll have to put it in the description box below. But this is the Page of Pentacles. This is the energy of, what am I worth? What am I doing that's worth something? And how much is it worth? And what are people willing to pay for it? And paying for something and what you're worth is not necessarily about money. What am I worth as far as the things I do for people, the self-esteem, the self-value, the self-worth, that kind of energy, because it really rules where your boundaries are, your personal space, and how can I nurture and love and share that love out into the world. So how can I find and strike that balance that's in between, right, of resetting the clock, right? This closing down of the whole world was kind of like, where do we reset the clock to in our lives about what we value? I spoke to so many people this week who are like, I don't know if I want to go back to working and commuting every day. Can we work from home a little more often? And I think there's going to be a real shift in that. And so everybody's reevaluating where they stand in this world and what it is they want. So we have a lot of that energy going on. So we're going to go ahead now and we're going to get started with Aries. I am just time stamping so that I can do this. So Aries, I'm going to pull some cards from you for you, and then let's just see what we got. I have some new decks here I'm pretty excited about. I was surprised because I have the Archangel Metatron deck by Amanda Ellis, and I bought that for me. I wasn't planning to share it, but I was invited to use that. Is that the right word? Invited? I was encouraged to use that today. But we're going to start out with the Lightseers Tarot from Chris Ann. I kind of wanted to see where it is that you are standing in this situation with this eclipse and what does it mean to you. So you have this Ten of Swords. This is, though, look at this Ten of Swords. It is the nicest Ten of Swords ever. She actually has affirmations to go with them, and I want to read their affirmations because it's my favorite thing about this deck. It is literally the favorite thing. So this one says, I am healing every day. I am healing every day. And I think the way you are healing is because you also got the Eight of Pentacles and the Three of Cups that came out. And so you are healing by through the friendships, through the people around you that are showing you that they understand the need to nurture themselves so that they can nurture other people. And you might be looking at what do I value and what am I willing to work hard at. And so that Eight of Pentacles is really interesting because it's got lots of different things. It feels healing and it feels like money. It has this really nice energy when I pick up the card. I really like the way it feels. It says, with loving determination, I persevere and I become the person I long to be. Moving out of that in-between stage. So you're healing, you're moving forward, and you're being loved and supported and helped along the way. Helped along the way by the people in your life. It says, I connect into the sacred siblinghood and into this expansive experience of witnessing through time. So siblinghood is the family we create. The family that we create. Like, who do we choose to be in family with? Oh, okay. Wow. Yep. So who, you know, there's the family we're born into that we've chosen, by the way, right? Before we got here, we're like, yeah. So this energy of this moon in the sun is very divine feminine energy. So it's very much, okay, so the moon is lunar. The moon, the lunar thing, that's feminine energy. The solar is the expression of the masculine energy. But then they come into a conjunction like this, and one doesn't really block out the other. That is synergy to me. And so this is, how do we use that divine feminine energy? Because it's happening in Cancer, which is the most mothering, nurturing of all the signs. How can we use that energy? And so wow. So I'm using my Divine Feminine Oracle deck, and even if you are a masculine person watching this, you identify as masculine, understand that we are both male and female, and tapping into and being able to use both parts of us, integrating that, you know, just as the feminine energy needs to be able to use the masculine energy. So the feminine energy is that of reception. The masculine energy is that of taking action. And when you can integrate those parts inside of you, then you really like got it going on. So you have Hesta. And Hesta is really, to me, that's like, she's like the ruler of the fourth house, the Cancer. It says, the goddess of sanctuary, no matter where I am home. The most secret sanctuary is found inside of me. Loving yourself and allowing that to spill out. You also have Kali, the queen of the outsiders. I have arrived. I am where I will always be, and that is in love. Kali, this is Sarah lit Kali. So this is fiercely loving all the parts of you, even the dark parts that you don't like. Loving and accepting all the parts of you. And you have the goddess Isis. Super excited. She's one of my favorites. This is the goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure in prayer that brings me back to life. So, you know, just going to leave that hanging there. Make of that what you want. You can do your eclipse celebration any way you choose. No judgment here. Okay, so let's get you a Sacred Traveler card, and then, oh gosh, then I'm going to do the Metatron deck. And you have here, yep, Walk in Beauty, Wondrous Beauty, and your light is shining brightly. You know, I'm going to tell you right now, Aries, nobody else is going to get these cards. They feel anticlimactic after doing the other ones. So that's special for you, because sometimes you guys get ripped off and you don't get anything. But as I'm pulling them, they didn't feel right. Those cards are right. There's a message in there, but I feel like it disrupts the flow. So the Metatron deck. What does Archangel Metatron special message for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising? These cards are really powerful. Oh, yep, integrating the balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Look at that. You have the yin and the yang. So, perfect. So, finding that duality, balancing it within yourself, within your life. You know, being able to ask for what it is that you need and giving because you have enough inside of you to give. To ask for what you are worth. Not what you need, I just heard. Ask for what you are worth. What are you worth? And so I'm also going to pull a card for you that's going to give you a question to consider, to think about, to journal about. to ask yourself, because this energy goes out for 6 months and it feels really important. So over the next 6 months, finding the balance in your life, you know, walking away from situations that don't work, integrating with the family that you choose, the ones that support you and love you, you know, being willing to work hard for what it is that you believe in, but also remembering always to ask for what you are worth. It says, I am not what happened to me. I am who I choose to become. Who am I ready to forgive? This is just that you write a forgiveness letter. Does not mean you have to send it. I mean, it could be forgiveness of yourself. So, is it time to let go, forgive, and move onward? Is your soul ready to forgive someone else or yourself? Forgiveness brings sweet release, freedom, and insight. Look at it from their shoes and notice how you grew and what you learned. What do you want to become, and how is this resistance holding you from what your soul wants? You're in the in-between stage. So what do you need to do to move forward? Wow. Okay, so who am I ready to forgive? And the other thing we have here is, what else could this mean? Nice. There are always multiple ways of looking at a situation. I feel like it goes with this, right? Like sometimes if you look at it from the other person's perspective and you realize that people come here as our soulmates to teach us the lessons that they agreed to, and even though they turn out to look like the bad guy, they're really the good guy, and they're your soulmate. And in another lifetime or another timeline, you guys may have reverse roles where you're teaching them the same thing. And so trying not to judge too harshly these souls that have agreed to come and teach your lessons is always important. And so there are always multiple ways to look at every situation. Our first reaction is always rooted in our fears and limiting beliefs. Look at the situation today by stepping outside of the trigger and ask, what else could this mean? And so we get triggered. You know, it's like something somebody says that like really triggers us, and we're like, oh, I don't, you know. And so the question becomes, what was it that triggered me on that? And I'm trying to think, because there was something that this week that happened to me, but I can't recall what it is. So I'm struggling right now to give you a really good example of that, because I literally slept all of yesterday and my head's been in another place. I had some seriously great meditation time, and so like my head's in space is weird, but this is really so mundane. It can't even be what they're talking about. But you know how right when we first started getting back out on the roads, I don't know if you noticed this, but everybody was driving like 10 miles under the speed limit, including me, and I have the biggest lead foot I know, because it was hard to get up to speed. But I noticed on the freeway last week, they're all back to normal out there, and it was triggering me when I was like, people were driving, making me mad, and I was like getting all stressed out. I'm like, oh, I gotta go back to driving on the dirt roads. This isn't working for me in my life at all. Like, I don't need this stress. So it'll take me longer to get where I'm going, but I'll be more sane. So look around when something sets you off. Why is it setting you off? What is it that triggers you? And for me, it's about not, I don't know what that's about. I'll have to think about that. All right. So I will be back here later this week with your Sun in Cancer reading, probably on Thursday morning. So be on the lookout for it. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you're still with me. I appreciate it. All right. We're going to move on to Taurus. All right. So Taurus, here we go. This is for this eclipse that's happening on the 21st, depending on where you are. It could be the 20th or the 21st. So, lots of strong messages coming through. Let's see what we got for you. I'm very itchy. I think they think it's fun to make me so itchy. Yeah, okay. Well, it's my brother. I should know. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. This is an opportunity. Oh, these are so nice. Okay, Taurus. You know how you've been trying to figure something out? That's that Queen of Swords energy. But this Queen of Swords looks like she sees clearly now. She's looking to the future. She sees something. She sees like which way the wind's blowing. See how those flags are going in that direction? She knows and is aware and has a very high perspective up there. Excuse me. So the top one there has a little symbol. Do you see it? It's a triangle. That's the triangle that we use in geometry class for change. So I use it in my shorthand to myself. So it's the sign of change, but it's also the sign of stability. So to me, it's a change that brings about stability. She's got her sword. Just look how relaxed she is. Like the decision's been made. So then the next card that came out was the Death card. I love this Death card though because it's death and rebirth. And so it's the ending of one thing, and look at the stars rising. It's like the star coming up, the hope for what is coming in the future. And see the evergreen of the trees? It's like they're strong and they're sturdy and they can withstand the storms and the stars coming up. And honestly, that looks like the morning star Venus. And Venus is right now running along the horizon, and it is the morning star. And if you get up early enough before the sun comes up, you can see the morning star Venus rising, and this is exciting. This is exciting. And then taking that step off. It's the Fool card. It's the leap of faith. But if you notice right here, the pool, that is sacred geometry of how connected we all are. That is the flower of life. And so for the Death card to be followed by the new beginning and the relaxed energy of I figured something out and I'm going for it, it's beautiful. Really beautiful, Taurus. Excited for you. Okay, so I'm not doing those, I decided. So I'm pulling divine feminine energy. And though there are males watching this, it's not because of that. The sun is a masculine energy. The moon is a feminine energy. And the moon rules Cancer. Cancer is a very feminine energy. It's the most feminine one there is in the zodiac. It nurtures its home. And so this eclipse, though, doesn't obliterate the other one, right? It's an annular eclipse where it doesn't completely cover it. And so it's this energy of support and coexistence and balance and the symbol for Cancer, it's not 69. Don't ask my sister, because that's what she'll tell you. It's the yin and the yang. It's the balancing. And so it's the figuring that out. And so this is about inside of each person, there's divine masculine, divine feminine. So the divine masculine has been that energy of I gotta go, I got to produce, I got to make things happen. And I think with COVID, we've really had a chance and opportunity to all kind of pull in and nurture ourselves, nurture the family around us, this opportunity to really kind of pull in and nurture ourselves and to decide what is really of worth and value as we're in this in-between stage, right? And so your divine feminine, oh my gosh, you have Pope Joan. So Pope Joan was actually... was a woman who, okay, here we go. A little soap opera for you. She was a woman who had a relationship with a priest. And so she pretended to be a male and went into the monastery with him. And she was so good at her job, she got promoted eventually to Pope. And so there's actually a ceremony where now they check to make sure that the Pope is actually a male before they will give him the designation of Pope because of her. She was walking down the street one day and a baby dropped out in the middle of the street. And they're all like, wait a minute, what's that? It's a miracle. So that's Pope Joan. Oh, it says... the possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. And you know what I want to do for you also is there are some really, really great affirmations that come with this deck. This is why I picked it. It says, I allow myself to let go of the past in order to add energy to new beginnings. I allow myself to let go of the past in order to add energy to new beginnings. In other words, you know, kind of cleaning out the closet and making space for what's new. This one says, I speak with wisdom and clarity. And the Fool says, I am ready for this adventure down my soul path. Oh, so nice. So nice. And why? Because it's limitless possibilities, because your soul is limitless. This path that you're taking off on, this opportunity, big deal. Big deal. Oh, so itchy in here. Okay. So this is the Archangel Metatron deck that I was requested by Metatron to use today. So I really want to see what the big message is for you. That nice. So okay, all right. So you have Archangel Sandalphon. Archangel Sandalphon Sandalphon is very grounded energy. So this is about you centering yourself, putting your feet firmly on the ground, right, towards the bull, being you, being grounded, being sturdy, being like picking a path with clarity, knowing that you're creating space for yourself and being willing. It says, look at this. It's like you're stepping off into space and you're like, whoa, I'm an earth sign, and this whole idea of stepping off the earth into that water seems ridiculous. And Sandalphon's here to say, no, I got you. You're still going to be grounded. It says with you now. It's number 22. 2 plus 2 is 4. That is the grounded number of 4. That's amazing. Says, come back to the simple pleasures of life, to music, to song, to nature, light in all of its myriad of forms, sunlight, starlight, and sunrise, sunset, all the natural healing energies that are available to you. Each aspect sustains and nourishes you with every step forward you take. Sandalphon brings comfort, beauty, and softness to you now, is with you in every footprint that you make. Your advancement forward is assured. But take the time to feel the sunlight on your face and to hear the bird song in the morning and the sweet whisperings of the angels who love and support you. Let your soul soar as you allow it to feel free and unrestricted, savoring all that life has to offer. You are safe to take the step. It's like that trust thing that they do at some of those retreats, you know, and then you fall backwards and your teammates are supposed to catch you. And maybe they do and maybe they don't, but I'll tell you what, Archangel Sandalphon's not going to let you fall. It's safe. It's safe to take this step. This thing that you've been thinking about for so long, it's safe. That's really amazing. Okay, let's get you the, esoteric question to think about, to journal on. Am I consistently showing up? And you're like, I'm a Taurus. I show up for work. I think this is, do you consistently show up for yourself in your life? Are you there for you and the people that you care about? Do you know your own value and your own worth? Do you show up for you? So, some trade their dreams for comfort, yet comfort is the enemy of progress. Success requires showing up every single day when you don't feel like it, even when it feels uncomfortable. It takes guts and endless vision to stay consistent to your dream. So, this is the dream. This is what you're stepping off into. This is the dream. So this isn't about work. I just really, it could be. Maybe you're looking at a big job change, not, but there's something you've been thinking about. It's that. It's not the routine as usual. Are you showing up? Are you showing up for the dream? Whatever that is that you've been really spending a lot of time on. Are you showing up for yourself and for what matters to you? This dream, this thing that you're looking for. All right? Ooh, So sweet. Okay, we are going to move on to Gemini. Hey there, Gemini. All right. Hey there, Gemini. How's it going? All right. So, Sun, Moon, Rising, this is for you. I just want to tell you that I'm going to be pulling some cards from the Divine Feminine Oracle, because there's masculine energy and there's feminine energy within each of us. But the sun is masculine energy, the moon is feminine energy, and the moon is also, this is in Cancer, right? It rules that house. And so this is all happening right there in that very nurturing energy, that very divine feminine. But life is about integrating the masculine and the feminine. So even if you are, you identify as masculine, you have feminine. And if you identify as a feminine, you also have masculine. And so learning to integrate the yin and the yang, which Cancer represents. It's that energy of being able to be both. To be who you need to be by accepting all the parts of you and loving all the parts of you. So that's what that's about. All right. So let's see what we're going to get here for Gemini for the energy of the eclipse and how you can use it to your best advantage. What information do you need to have to make this journey, this part of the journey? It's such a beautiful milestone. So what kind of guidance can we have for Gemini moving forward here? Oh, these cards. It's a new deck. I love it, but they're really slippery. Okay, Gemini, I'm not surprised that you're getting so many. 0 degrees Cancer. That North Node now moves into Gemini. And so this is like the beginning. It's the first step of a long journey, and you have a lot of cards here. So here we have the Page of Swords. This is about needing more information. What's your big idea? Are you doing the research? It's walking the tightrope across a little goal to get to the Ten of Cups. Interesting. The Ten of Cups, that's emotional satisfaction and partnership. Could be work. It could be at home. We have the Page of Wands. That's a new idea and being willing to run with it. So you have 2 pages, so a brand new start, and you have Judgment. This Judgment is interesting because this is about releasing yourself to take a higher perspective, releasing yourself to go higher. You're down in the depths of your emotions. Ooh, Gemini doesn't like that. And this, so you might feel a little, this is happening. It's happening in your second house of what you value. So, this energy of having to go deep to set yourself free, to work and move toward the direction of what's important to you. So, they all have these beautiful little, affirmations or whatever. And it says, hello, Essence. I invite you to show up every day. I invite my soul to shine unapologetically. This is about allowing yourself to be who you are, authentically who you are, to move through this in-between space in stepping into who you are is really such an amazing kind of energy. And so this Ten of Cups, it says, I live in a state of oneness by bringing harmony and love to my relationships. That's all kind of relationships, right? That includes family, that includes social gatherings. The Ten of Cups is emotionally satisfied on a number of levels. It usually shows, right, the couple with the kids and the rainbow, and that's definitely part of it. But, we're not all married, right? And we don't all have kids, and we don't all whatever. But you still have relationships with people. How do you bring in that harmony? How do you find, who you authentically are and what brings the joy and the peace to you? As the dreamer of my dream, I spontaneously and passionately ignite this flame. It is like putting your stake in the ground. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do to get there. I'm going for it. What are you going to do to get there? You're going to need to do some research, gonna have to bounce some ideas off. I learn and I expand my consciousness and open up to new opportunities for my life. So I know what I want. Now I need to go figure out some stuff about it. And it's in your second house of self-value, self-worth, self-esteem. So what do you need to know? Self-esteem. What are you worth? Looks like you have a really big new idea. Don't let someone else kill your dream, I just heard. Okay? So if there's something you really want to do, let yourself light up for it. You have a Shekinah, the presence of the divine feminine. At the center of everything, there is light, and I am that light. Allow your light to shine. Look at this. This is a bunch of light bulbs at the top too, right? Be your own light. What lights you up? You know, I set my stake. I'm igniting the flame of my passion. What is it that you want to bring in? What's important to you? Shekinah is the divine feminine energy of creation. And you have the Page of Wands. What lights you up? Don't. Okay. I'm sorry. I just saw. Do you watch Survivor? I love that show. I just saw somebody, he wanted to go snuff out the flame, and they were like, no. Don't let anybody put out your flame. It's your torch. Carry it. Run to the beach with it. Okay. Oh, you have, from the Archangel Metatron deck, you have 2. Oh. From Spirit with Love and the Void. Rest, retreat, and pause. Rest, retreat, pause. Take some time to dream about where it is that you want to go. This is the Judgment card. This is about figuring out what it is that you're going to do, learning what you need to know, rest. So it says retreat, rest, and pause. It is a new moon. A new moon is about pulling your energy in and nurturing it. It is like the seed inside of the little shell covering before it breaks out so that it can grow and flourish. So be willing to pull yourself in. You're getting a little time and space to do this. You have this beautiful little card here. I've never seen this one. The angel feathers that appear at just the right time in unexpected places. The words of a song that resonates with you, with what you prayed about last night. Signs are everywhere and come in many shapes and forms. So often you expect a big gesture, the booming voice of the card, the crystal clear image in your third eye, or the answer lands at your feet. But angel signs are often softer. Archangel Metatron embodies many ways to make his presence known to you, and you are encouraged to open up to him at this time, to the clandestine feeling of his presence, the warmth or the heat that overcomes you, the colors that increasingly you notice in new ways, the tingles of your body, the voice of Metatron speaking to you, maybe via a friend or an associate or a loved one. When you hear something, I just recently had a friend that I was discussing an aspect of her life that was going on with her with someone else. I didn't know that the situation was going on, and this friend brought it to my attention, and he had some inaccurate information. And when I talked to my friend, she said, no, that's not what I said to him. That's a great idea. I'm going to do it that way. And so it was like the words got twisted through the telephone, so to speak, and yet the answer was presented in the misunderstanding that wasn't a coincidence. So that happens sometimes. So just listen. Like when you'll hear things, you'll be like, oh, that resonates. That makes sense. That's important to me. Wow, you have so many cards. Okay, so I just pulled cards from the deck that ask you to ask yourself questions. And so these are things to be thinking about. And your first one is, what if it isn't true? The thing that you're telling yourself right now, the concrete reasons why you think you don't belong or you can't do it or won't get there or you're not enough or it wasn't for you, is that true? It is time for a soul chat. Close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and ask the wise one within you, what if it isn't true? What else might be possible? So this opportunity to look for the signs, I feel like yes, you might hear from other people, but take some time for yourself to have the conversation with yourself. Ooh, you have our body speaks to us. So feeling into the energy of your body. Reiki treatment's always good. When I see a card like this, it says through physical pain or discomfort, our body sends messages for us to look deeper. See the trapped emotions lurking. Listen to your physical body. So, oh, this is interesting. It says Heal Your Body by Louisa L. Hay and find the answers towards you and what your body is guiding you. I didn't even know that book existed. I'm going to be looking for that. What I was going to say to you is that on the internet, you can find information like this. So, every part of things are ruled by different signs and everything. So, you know, if for instance your hands really hurt, so Gemini rules hands. It rules the nervous system, and your hands are all. So it's like the ability to express yourself through maybe written word. If your hands are like really hurting, could be a thing. It's a communication thing. There's some kind of a communication blockage. It doesn't have to be through the hands. It could be through, oh, my hands are hurting right now while I'm saying this. So for many of you, that would be throat chakra work, even though it's your hands, right? And so, so this is interesting. So the book is Heal Your Body by Louisa L. Hay. She's the one who started Hay House that puts out a lot of the oracle decks. She's passed away, but her words are still with us. And so this one says, am I afraid to be seen? The world doesn't want you to hold back any longer. It is time to shine. Don't let anybody snuff out your torch. Shine your unique light on the world. You were made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding. There is no more shame. There is only truth. Live naked and free. What parts of me do I hide so that I can socially be accepted and fit in? Am I being authentic? We are being asked to check in on our authenticity, right? Am I being authentic? Do I allow myself to be all of me? What do I need to feel so I can feel safe and seen? Got some stuff that really needs some journaling done. Don't be afraid to get out the journal and think about some of these things. So, you have your assignment. Go get them, Gemini. I will be back at the end of the week with your sun in Cancer video, so be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate your time. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. All right, Cancer, let's rock, right? So, Cancer, this is a big deal for everybody, but it's a big deal for you. 0 degrees of Cancer, super powerful energy, right? And we're coming out of this North Node in Cancer that we've had for the last 18 months or so. And it's been about all the important things that Cancer does, like the nurturing. But this time it was like pulling in, and do we nurture ourselves in order to be able to nurture others? Do we give ourselves what we need? Because oftentimes, and I speak as someone who has a Cancer sun and a lot of other planets in Cancer, that in my North Node is in Cancer, right? And it's always been about giving to others, and the last 18 months I have really focused on giving to myself and putting myself first. And so I'm hoping that you've done that, but if you haven't, it is never too late to start. You can take the lesson and move forward with it while you're working on other things. Never too late to start anything that's important.